Mr. Bass here, wanting to share with you something new that I am trying out that I'm pretty excited about. It is from Gruv Fishing, and it's called the Tungsten Vault, and it holds 50 tungsten weights. Comes with a little Gruv Fishing sticker, and it holds 50 tungsten bullet weights in this little box, and I think that's pretty sweet. If you've not checked out the Gruv products, they're pretty innovative, they're pretty cool, and they all open and close with a magnetic closure. Pretty good magnet. You probably don't even need anything more than that, but probably I'll keep a rubber band around it anyway. But tungsten, you know, is expensive. I've tried every tackle box out there, every terminal tackle organization system on the market. I think I've tried it, and this really appeals to me, this little Tungsten Vault. And so I'm going to give it a whirl. And it just so happens to coincide with the fact that Monster Bass is now selling tungsten. So they had a special where you could buy a bunch of tungsten for about 40 bucks, so that's what I did. And they send you in the bait bag, you get a free bait bag when you buy the bundle of tungsten together, so that's pretty sweet. Now, one thing that is important is knowing what size tungsten you have. And I've been frustrated with some of the tungsten that I bought. You know, when they first started making tungsten, nobody put the size on the weight, and then you kind of have to guess. And you know, if it's a big weight, you can tell, well, that's probably ½ ounce or a 3/4 ounce. It's just nice to have the weight printed right on the head. This is a 1 ounce weight. So I'm going to load up this tungsten box, this Tungsten Vault, with my new Monster Bass weights. And it's pretty cool the way these things fit in here. They just slide right in there, and then to get them out, all you do is just move them back and forth, and they pop right out. So pretty innovative, pretty cool design. Yeah, so this Monster Bass, basically they call it the flipping bundle. They're flipping weights. They're bullet weights, so you know, you don't just flip with them. You can Texas rig and fish a lot of different techniques with bullet weights. But they give you 14 bullet weights, and they go up from size 5/16 is the smallest, which to me is still not small enough. I really like, even when it comes to bullet weights, you know, I even like an 1/8 ounce, sometimes even a little smaller than that for certain techniques. So for my Tungsten Vault, I'm going to have to get some of my smaller tungsten that is not necessarily this. But I do like the fact that they're labeled, every one of them. So you get 2 5/16, 2 3/8, 2 7/16, 2 halves, 2 5/8, 2 3/4, and 2 ounce. A total of 14 for about 40 bucks. Okay, so I'll get this Tungsten Vault loaded up, and then we'll take a look at it. Okay, so I got the 14 Monster Bass tungsten weights in there, starting with 1 ounce, then goes down to 3/4, then the 7/16, then the halves, and all the way down. And you can see just how well they fit in there, and they are not coming out. Now, one downside to this is, well, I can't grab it and get it out. It's not as hard as you think. All you do, like especially these smaller ones that are kind of way in there, all you do is just move them left or right, and they pop right out, just like that. That's actually much easier than the styrofoam, closed cell styrofoam inserts that are in like the Bass Mafia box, because those, as you push down, they kind of just go further and further in, where these, you just wiggle them left and right, and they pop right out of this silicone pad. That's what the pad's made out of, is orange silicone. Now here's another cool thing. See how tiny some of these slots are? Look at some of these super tiny tungsten bullet weights I have. This sucker is tiny, and I don't even know. It's so tiny it may not even focus. There it goes. Teeny tiny, but yet it will fit in this Tungsten Vault. They've got slots that small. Look at that right there. Fits perfectly. Here's another tiny one. I know what size this is. This is an 1/8 ounce tungsten. It's a green one. I like that too. Same thing. There's a slot in here where it's gonna fit. No trouble. That's it right there. So I'm pretty tickled with this vault, tungsten vault that holds 50 weights. And I'm going to load it with 50 and just show you completely loaded what it looks like before I wrap this video up. All right. I've got the Tungsten Vault by Gruv Fishing loaded. Completely full. Look at there. Completely full of tungsten. 50 weights. Pretty amazing. Now, one question you might have is, well, what about big punching weights? Could it put a 2 ounce, hold a 2 ounce? I don't think it's really made for a 2 ounce weight, but I did take an 1.5 ounce weight. Here's an 1.5 ounce flipping weight compared to the 1 ounce size that I have in there. And an 1.5 ounce will fit in here. Because it's silicone, it stretches. There it is. And you can see it fits. I don't know if the lid will close. Yeah, the lid will close too. But I don't think you're going to get anything bigger than an 1.5 ounce weight. Now, that doesn't really matter for me because I very rarely use anything over 1 ounce. And when I do go to places like Florida or somewhere with thick mats where I know I'm going to punch and need super heavy weights, I just have a separate punching kit that I take super heavy weights with. I don't need them in my regular tungsten box. So for me, 1 ounce is plenty big. This little box I'm excited about. I think Gruv Fishing's really onto something here. I think this product I'm gonna love. Let me know what you think about this little Tungsten Vault. Do you have one? Have you tried it? What do you think? I think it may be my new favorite way to store and take my tungsten with me on the lake. Plus, it's super compact. Look at it compared to, say, the size of my iPhone. It's about the size of a phone. It's thicker, obviously. If you found this informative and helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel. Smash that like button. Hit the bell. Ring that bell to get notified when I post my next video. I would greatly appreciate it. And until next time, this is Mr. Bass. Happy fishing!